Picture it. Suburban Denver, 1989. 7 Habits mania is sweeping the nation. My mom, just trying to help the lives of those around her, buys a copy for basically everyone she knows. A copy for her parents, a copy for each of her siblings, a copy for me, a copy for each of my siblings. Now, were we gracious as children about receiving a self-help book for Christmas? Absolutely not. But the years went by and I keep hearing about the book. I hear mentors talk about it. It's alluded to in other books I read, and eventually I pick up a dusty old copy inscribed with my uncle's name on the inside cover for some reason. And intrigued, I leaf through it a bit, and ultimately I listen to the whole thing on Audible, and I gotta say, it's actually a very good book with a lot of useful wisdom in it. So, here are the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, explained in under 7 minutes if you start timing right now. Okay, habit 1, be proactive. Coincidentally, right before scripting this, I was in a job interview and interviewing somebody for our firm, and I said being proactive is one of the top things we look for in applicants. Being proactive means first taking initiative and just bringing energy to your life. But for Covey, it means more than that. It means refusing to succumb to external circumstances. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Covey says, look at the word responsibility. Responsibility. The ability to choose your response. Highly proactive people recognize that responsibility. They do not blame circumstances, conditions, or conditioning for their behavior. So this habit empowers people to rise above the challenges and setbacks and take control of their own destinies. One caveat, a key aspect of being proactive is recognizing the difference between the things one can control and those that are beyond one's influence, which in turn allows us to better focus on what truly matters. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. So this habit is ultimately about goal setting, working backwards from your goals. The military calls that backwards planning, where you start by envisioning success and then work backwards to figure out the steps you'll need to take to get there. Covey emphasizes the importance of personal leadership, which is the concept of being the leader of your own life, and then developing a personal mission statement that guides your decision-making and actions. When you're clear about your long-term objectives, you can align your daily activities with your long-term goals. Habit 3, put first things first. This is about making the main thing. Time management and prioritization. Covey talks about something called the time management matrix, also known as the Eisenhower matrix, because it's attributed to President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Here's how it works. You divide your tasks into a 4-part grid. Urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither important nor urgent. And Covey and Eisenhower say, focus on quadrant 2. So that's important but not urgent, because it's really easy to get caught up in what's urgent day to day and only focus on those things, neglecting what is important long term. But focusing on the important tasks, even if they're not urgent, is what best sets you up for long-term success. Habit 4, think win-win. Covey promotes a cooperative mindset in personal and professional relationships. He believes that people can achieve more when they work together and seek mutually beneficial solutions. A win-win mentality allows for better communication, trust building, and collaboration, leading to more sustainable and satisfying outcomes for all parties involved. This habit requires a balance of courage and empathy, so you ensure that your needs are met while also considering the needs of others. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Covey called this the single most important principle he learned in the field of interpersonal relationships. And I'm not very good at it myself, but this is one of the books that parts of the book that stuck with me most. Covey gives an example of a father who told him, I can't understand my kid. He just won't listen to me at all. And Covey said, let me restate that for you. You don't understand your son because he won't listen to you? That's right, the father said. Well, let me try that again, Covey said. You don't understand your son because he won't listen to you. That's what I just said, the father impatiently replied. Then Covey said, I thought that to understand another person, you needed to listen to him. Oh yeah, the father said, but I do understand him. I know what he's going through. I went through the same thing myself. I guess what I don't understand is why he won't listen to me. But that's not how you foster understanding. So then Covey goes on to go through a whole hypothetical conversation between a parent and a child. The child says one thing that happened to them at school that day, and the parent launches right into advice and even judgment mode. And predictably, the conversation doesn't go well at all. The child shuts down. Neither the parent nor the child really hear the other, and neither one feels understood. So then Covey goes back through the whole same scenario to see how it would have worked out if the parent had listened with what Covey calls empathic listening, seeking first to understand, then to be understood. And if the parent listens more patiently, more quietly, and with follow-up questions that have no agenda other than to understand their child, then the conversation becomes much more open, much more productive, more supportive, and it ultimately strengthens the relationship. Habit 6, synergize. Synergy is the ability to prioritize collaboration and teamwork. When teams combine their strengths and work together, they become greater than the sum of their individual efforts. Synergy requires trust, open communication, and a willingness to embrace diversity in ideas and perspectives. Creativity and innovation thrive when leaders can recognize the unique contributions of each of their teammates. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. Abraham Lincoln is supposed to have said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's apocryphal, but it's still a wise saying that somebody else said at least. It's still a good point. Sharpen the saw. This is about continuous self-improvement and personal growth. Covey encourages people to invest their time and energy in maintaining their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. This habit requires a commitment to lifelong learning, self-reflection, and self-care so that you can remain balanced and capable of effectively applying the other 6 habits. So, there you have it, the 7 habits of highly effective people. One parting thought, these are habits. They're not one big change you make once. A habit is something you do over and over, something that you make part of your daily life. And I do think it's fair to say that the person who commits to these 7 habits on a consistent basis will be more effective in whatever it is they are hoping to achieve. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and all your dreams will come true.